Hi, it's Mark from Training Spark, and in this video we're taking a look at version 4.13 of LearnDash, which was released in April 2024. So as always, we'll head to the release notes page at learndash.com/release-notes and take a look at what the new features are. So there are a number of sort of small updates and tweaks behind the scenes, but there are two main updates and they're kind of tied together. So what they've added is this new virtual instructor functionality, but they've added it as what's called an experiment. So what you find, sometimes plugin developers will release features in a sort of not quite production ready state as experiments for people to try if they want to and be able to feed back. And it's a good way to test out new developments and get feedback and refine them before they are ready to be released into a proper update. So this looks like possibly something that LearnDash are going to be doing more often by creating this experiments feature, and you'll be able to switch these on and off depending if you want to try them. And what we're going to do in this video is switch them on, try this virtual instructor and see what that's all about, and see what's available in this update and could be available in future updates. So let's head to our WordPress dashboard and we'll go to dashboard here, and then under LearnDash LMS settings, there's a new menu option here called experiments. So we'll just click on that. And this is what we mean here about these things that you can turn on and off. And it says experiments with features that are in beta and we encourage you to try on your course. You can provide the team feedback. If I click on give feedback the button here. So they're wanting you to try these features and give feedback, which I think opens a Google form here, so you can give specific feedback on how you found these. And, you can try them before they're properly refined and enrolled into the plugin as an actual stable release. So I would suggest that some of these experiments, if you're running a very popular, active, highly used course, you might want to avoid using these on that, but they are probably at this point in, well, they say here, beta phase, so one for you to try in a safe place, perhaps on a staging environment or a course that isn't widely used, just in case there are any kinks that they need to iron out themselves. So let's activate that. We'll switch that on and then click save. And then what we find here is that under our LearnDash LMS menu here, we've got virtual instructors. So I'm going to click into that. And we can see here that, we've got these virtual instructors available to set up. It says, let's configure them. So it's a bit of a wizard to set these up. So I'll go next. Here's where we enter our OpenAI API key, and you would get this from OpenAI. So you'd go to platform.openai.com, and this is where you would create these. So I think, certainly in the past, if you registered an account, you could get a certain number of free credits for these, but typically you buy credits nowadays, and those would be used to fund the functionality of this AI that is used to generate these virtual instructors. So I'm just going to create a new key here and call this TS Sandbox. I'll delete this key afterwards. So, this is just for testing purposes. And I'm going to paste that into there. And that's now set up. And we're ready to go with our virtual instructors. You may have already inserted the OpenAI API key in the past if you've ever used any of the other AI functionality like the course builder and the quiz builder. So that might be something that's already got set up. But let's have a look at what we can do in virtual instructors now. So it says here, you can configure how your virtual instructors work globally and override these settings on a per virtual instructor level later on. So these are global settings by looks things. So we can ban some words. It says a pre-configured list of banned words that students can't ask the virtual instructor. Possibly this is to avoid any abuse of the system, people putting in swear words and getting funny answers back from the instructor. But equally, you might want to ban certain words that relate to your content to prevent people cheating, possibly. So let's put a random word in here, shoe. Put that in, and then in theory, it says if we put something about shoe in there, it'll say, "Oops, we can't help that question. Please ask your instructor." So we'll click next, and now it's saying how we can create our own virtual instructor. So I'm going to call this one John, and then we can upload an image for it. So I'll just put any old image here. You probably put a face or something like that. And here's where we can add custom instructions. So these are controlling how you want your virtual instructor to behave. And I believe as things stand, if you don't put any instructions on, you're basically just talking to ChatGPT, and there's no kind of rule set around it. You're not controlling how it should respond. But you might put in things like you should provide short, concise answers. When we do things like this, we tend to kind of put borders around what they can ask. So we'll say, if the user asks anything that doesn't relate to yoga or health, politely decline to answer. And there might be other things you put in there, but that is just sort of structuring how your virtual instructor behaves. And you can say whether this should appear for certain courses or certain groups. Just for this demo, I'll just make it apply to all courses and all groups, and then I'll click Set Up. So we've now got our virtual instructor ready to go, and it should be appearing on all courses and for all groups. So let's take a look as a user here. So I'm just going to go and switch to a user account. So we can see that outside of courses, the instructor isn't displayed. So what normally happens is it pops up at the bottom right here. But if we go to a course, a LearnDash course, what we find now is we've got this thing now that is kind of pinned to the bottom, and it expands. And this is now our interface to chat with our virtual instructor. And we can see that we've got the name of the instructor and the image that we uploaded. So I'll just say, I'll ask about a question on this. So tell me about drinking fluids for a healthy day. And see what it comes back with. So it's kind of a familiar ChatGPT sort of interface here. So it's come back with a response there, aiming to drink for at least 8 to 10 cups of water a day, avoid sugary drinks. So it's relevant content. Let's try these banned words. So I'll say, what is a shoe? Oops, so that's word. So we've put in a banned word there, and it's come back with the error message, which we're expecting. We also put in the custom instructions to not answer anything related to that doesn't relate to our course, which is on yoga and healthy eating. So I'll say, tell me about steam engines, and see what it comes back with. So that's what we wanted. So it says, I'm here to provide information on yoga and health-related topics. If you have any other questions, please to ask. So that is working as we want it to. It's a useful addition, and it's possibly a benefit to some of you when you're creating your courses, just to have something that people can ask quick questions throughout. So while we think this is a good update, I think there are a few things that could take this a bit further. So obviously the problem you have here is that you're basically just talking to ChatGPT here. There's nothing about your own way of teaching or your own course content that is fed into this. I think the limit you have is just via those custom instructions, and you couldn't put your whole course content into that. So if you've got certain points of views or ways and methodologies of teaching, then obviously this virtual instructor here isn't going to capture that because it is the voice of ChatGPT. So that is one sort of drawback of this. One thing we've been playing around with is assistants. That's a different feature from OpenAI, and those are things that you can do. And they have a sort of thread, sort of conversation history, and you can talk about how they should reply, and you can even upload content. So you can upload files that support how they respond. So assistants are kind of the next level of what this would be. So that's something that we tend to use on our own AI integrations. That kind of is kind of the next step beyond this. But for many of you, if you're just wanting something that is a simple interface for people to ask quick questions, then this might be all fine for you. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, please give the video a like, and if you'd like to see more like this, please subscribe to the TrainSpark YouTube channel.